Focus Outdoors headed to the north end of Lake Oahe in the great state of South Dakota. We're going to base out of the city of Mobridge, a nice-sized river town that is known for its great hospitality. Speaking of hospitality, their neighbors across the river, the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe, has a casino named the Grand River. The Standing Rock Sioux Tribe put us up in their very nice casino. The amenities were great. As usual, in our fishing travels to Lake Oahe, we hooked up with Dennis Foster of iTime Promotions. On this trip, Dennis called a friend, Carrie Connell, of Outrageous Adventures Guide Service. Carrie lives in the area and is very knowledgeable about the river and its nuances. With all these great people, we knew we'd have enough information for 2 shows from the Mobridge area. So let's enjoy the first installment of Mobridge, a great fishing town.
Well, we're just getting out here on the ice late morning out here in Mobridge, South Dakota, in Lake Oahe. Stopped and talked to Kerry Connell, local guide out here, going to try to put us on some fish. Sounds like he's been having some luck. The interesting thing about this reservoir is typically this time of year it's kind of a tough bite.
Yeah.
We're heading to late February, early March, but the beauty of it out here is you can usually get something going.
Yeah, there's usually all species. You know, this time of year the northerns will start to move. There's a tick right there.
Exactly.
Kind of split out here a little bit from cats. There we go. There's one. Feels like a good cat, probably. You know, that's the deal. Yep. Catching up. There we are. Nice catfish. Little jigs, minnows, a little bit of however you want to catch them too.
Sure enough. Yeah, and then I'm a big tip-up guy, and we've got some chubs. So we're going to throw some of them down from deep to shallow here, and I'm sure we're going to bump into a few of these. Obviously, walleye's most noted fish out here, and I'm sure we're going to find some of them. But the thing of it is, you get to catch something.
Well, the nice thing is out here, you know, the walleyes typically this time of year are kind of a dusk and dawn type bite. So midday, you can go out and look around for these other species. And we've been getting some real nice white bass, probably run into some of these, and then these awesome catfish. They're just something else through the ice.
Exactly, and don't be prejudiced against species. If you like to catch fish, this is darn sure a great place to do it. And to be honest with you, I'm tired of talking. I want to get set up.
Get set up and get after him. We'll get him off the hook.
Well, we got Kerry's catfish down, and he come across here with this Suburban and stopped right on the end of a string of holes that's drilling here to kind of get a feel for this structure and find the drop off. But just take the Vexillard, we can just hop along and see what we're trying to find. And it comes to find out that I put the shack right where I want it. And how I did that is using Navionics background app on my phone. I mean, I just guesstimated, literally wasn't guessing.
This mapping electronics these days, I mean, it's really important to use them, especially on a body of water like this. I mean, these lakes, you know, you kind of dish pan, you got a few humps, but out here, it's what you see above the ice and water is what's below the water. So a lot of humps and points, if you can find those points and channels where it cuts in and fish those drop-offs. Like you say, you're going to fish with some tip-ups here, so you're going to have this perfect fishing from tip to tip, down deep and back up.
Exactly, and that's what I'm looking for in following the contour lines. And the interesting thing with Hawaii, or any reservoir for that matter, is the water levels do change, and you can still see all your contours on this. Where I haven't been back here in this bay ice fishing, I bet 10 years.
Yeah.
And I literally drove exactly to where I wanted.
Yep, and I pretty much live here from day one of ice to ice out back in this bay, and we get, you know, there's just several different spots in one bay you can fish.
Exactly. Yep. The nice thing is you can return spots. It's just simple stuff. It's modern technology. You know, we need to embrace that. It's not terribly expensive. It's something we need to utilize. And quite frankly, that's why ice fishing has come so far.
Oh,
We have the
absolutely.
tools to do these things, where it used to be, you know, we're out there blind sitting on a 5-gallon pail hoping to catch a fish.
Absolutely. I mean, and basically you can sit at home on your kitchen table and pre-fish. Mark your spots where you want to fish, drive out to them, drop the line, and you're there.
Exactly, and once we get set up, and we get set up in these nice houses that we have, it's like being in your living room. You get it
Absolutely.
right there. Once you set up, I mean, the television's there, the food's there, you
Yeah.
can grab a beer if you
Yeah.
do so.
No, it's just made things so much easier than the old days.
Right, and I'm for one happy to see it, because it's a segment of the outdoor industry that is growing and continues to grow, and it's because of innovation.
Yep, and that's what we need. And especially the younger people starting to fish, they are into the electronic age.
And you hit on
That's,
something there. They embrace that, so it's better than a video game, because you're literally
Absolutely.
outside interacting with things other than the electronics. The electronics are simply the aid to get to the end result.
Absolutely. No, it makes it really handy.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to finish getting set up here. And
Go get 'em.
We'll go. Okay, what we're doing now is we got our house set down. We're back in a bay on Lake Oahe in the Mobridge area, the upper reaches of Lake Oahe. And what I like to do is I like to run tip-ups with large baits. It's kind of my deal. My tip-up of choice is made by HT. It's a magnetic polar pop-up is what they call it. The simple magnetic system bite indicator pops up, indicates you have a bite. Fish can free-spool the line, just like any other typical tip-up. Couple customization things that I do is I put reflective tape on the body of the unit itself and on the bite indicator, and in different colors. So at night, all you need to do is shine your flashlight around. You can find your tip-ups, and you can see if you have a bite. Also, it keeps snowmobilers, so forth, from running your sets over. Pretty basic setup, which is the way we want to keep things. People overcomplicate these tip-ups. You don't need line counters. You don't need all this electronic gizmo stuff on them. They're simply a device that holds line, presents your bait where you want it, lets the fish run with it freely, and then obviously you come hand over hand it in. So a lot of this stuff is, quite frankly, overkill. The system I use, and it's taken me several years to get comfortable with this, that allows me to get in big pike that we encounter here in the Dakotas, is I run a 30-pound fluorocarbon leader, and specifically Cigar Premier variety of leader. It's a flexible type leader for a 30-pound leader, but it still has the abrasion resistance necessary to get a big pike in. I've yet to break a fish with these, and I've had fish up to 25 pounds doing so. Simply run it up to a split shot, 12 to 18 inches above your chub, depending on the size of the bait. If it's a bigger bait, you probably want to slide your weight down a little bit more, subdue it, because if you get too big a bait, they've got too much action. They can kind of, in effect, deter the fish and turn them off a little bit. It's just a little too aggressive for them. Premium hook is always key, depending on the size of your baits. Anywhere from a number 2 to a 1/0 is probably key. The length of the leader, 3 foot roughly. I go into a snap swivel. Bounce that right up to the main line of a heavy braided line. Anywhere from 50 to 80 pounds is about right. And the braid does a couple things. One, when you get caught on these chunks of ice, so forth, you can snap it free when you have a fish run. It won't fray your line or potentially break your line. The other thing, it has the diameter. With cold fingers, you know, we're below zero out here, you can feel it. It's got enough diameter to it you can feel, and the braid, you can feel the braid, so you have complete control when you are working on fish. The final thing to this, and this is kind of key too, is when you hook your baits, I'll get a bait here for us. I do what is referred to as a reverse hooking of that bait. These chubs aren't as large as I'd like, but they're what's locally available. What I do is come along the dorsal fin and ever so slightly nick that, and you want to run that parallel to the dorsal fin, not perpendicular. So in effect, you want to slide that just barely up under the skin, like so. So that hook point is actually riding towards the head of the bait. And what that does is when that bait's hanging there, he'll swim up to struggle away from the weight, and he'll ever so slowly flutter back down, and it gives that impression of something that's wounded or dying dropping out of a school of minnows. And there's just a lot of feeding cues within that, and I really do think that makes a difference. Another thing too is when you go to take your baits off, you'll notice you nearly need to skin that bait to get that off, so it keeps them from knocking the baits off, especially when you get smaller walleyes that are pecking around and things. That's basically the heart and soul of it. We'll finish getting these set. Just like running the trap line, we'll let them sit, do their work. As they pop up, we'll come get our fish.
Midwest Gun Dog Kennels is your full-time gun dog training facility. For over 30 years, we've customized our training to fit each individual gun dog. We know it takes a well-trained gun dog to handle wild birds to make every hunting trip a dream trip. Let Midwest Gun Dog Kennels put excitement back into your hunt of a lifetime. Midwest Gun Dog Kennels, where experience equals excellence.
No matter the size, age, or activity level of your best friend, you want a dog food that's natural, feeds great, and is full of all the goodness you demand. That's what we pack into every bag of Country Vet Naturals. Country Vet Naturals are just what the name says, natural goodness in every bag. We also make grain-free cat and dog food and treats. Learn more and find a dealer at countryvetnaturals.com. Country Vet Naturals, loved by pets, trusted by owners.
Well, as you might be able to tell, I spend a lot of time behind a shotgun. Whether it's at the clay target fields, sporting clays fields, doing exhibitions, or bird hunting, I always trust my shooting skills to the Rio Elites. Not only for the lighter recoil, but as you can tell, the harder hitting, consistent patterns. These clay targets don't stand a chance when you shoot Rio Elite.
Well, we just got these down and got back in the house, getting organized there. Hadn't even got a line down in the house. Tom happened to look out, and we've got 2 up already. So that does help with the additional lines, and with the depth thing here, what I'm doing is we're on a pretty steady break, just kind of a classic contour lines coming down off the shoreline, and we're running these from 10 foot out to about 40 foot of water. This here is about 20 foot. We've got the house in about 25, as you can see in the background. Another thing what this will do is this will serve as an indicator as to where the fish are. If we keep getting bites on specific tip-ups, that tells us, by God, that's the depth these fish are running, and then we can run outside and jig some holes outside in those depths. Feel him. Yeah, it looks like he just ran that bait and dropped it. Yeah, he did. But we've got a tip-up right behind us. That bait's beat up just a little bit. I'm just going to get him right back down there, and we'll go over to this other tip-up, and hopefully we can find it. It may very well be the same darn fish. Another thing you'll notice, I'm in no hurry here. If there is one very large mistake that I see every day, is these people that think it's a NASCAR race out on the ice to sprint every time they see a flag. It's absolutely unnecessary, and actually it's counterproductive, particularly with using bigger baits. I like to allow at least 5 minutes before I actually come out to a bite, because that allows that fish to run that bigger bait off. Typically they'll take it from the side, turn it, position it, get it swallowed so you can get it. Usually when you see people dash out and they grab the line, they jerk it right out of their mouth. So there's just no sense in getting in a hurry. Slow wins the race here. Apparently there is some weight there. We'll see here. There, we got him. Not just steady weight, not a lot of shape to it. There are some pike back in here in the shallower stuff. I'm gonna guess maybe a catfish or, boy, he ran some line here. Maybe a better walleye, just heavy weight coming at me. As you can tell, I'm going very fast. What I'm doing here is just keeping up with the fish. It's not that I'm in a hurry. It's just the fish is swimming at me so much, I don't want to get a chance to get slack, shake its head, and possibly get off. You can see I'm to the bobber, I'm to the leader. Oh, it's a nice fish. And there you go. And this is in the middle of the day, literally, Lake Oahe. It's been a real window type of bite, but I mark my words, I will guarantee you we would have not had this fish without tip-ups. This is going to lend us some confidence. It's going to allow us to keep going during the day here, and we're going to end up with a bunch more of these before she's all said and done. Get some chubs, get some tip-ups, folks. These are fish that anybody can get. Very simple method. Yeah. This is Lake Oahe, Mobridge, South Dakota. You can see this fish too. We did have some issues with some forage. This reservoir is definitely back. We had high water years where a lot of our smelt did get flushed. One thing that I particularly like about this area in the northern reaches of Oahe is the fact that we have some shallower backwaters, the Grand River, the Morrow River. There's a lot more forage options than just the deep water smelt, the herring, that type of thing. These fish often feed on baby white bass, little perch, there's emerald shiners. There's just a lot more forage, so therefore the fishery is more consistent. The lower reaches of the reservoir can get quite tough at times, and they go boom and bust. Up here, you're generally going to have a better shot at finding decent fish through the cycles of the reservoir, and this is proof of it. Middle of the day. Interesting here, we just had a bite. The fish had run a ton of line out and it just dropped the chub. So that would make me want to think walleye. So then I think that's a little bit shallower water, that I should grab the auger, go punch a few holes, and get to jigging actively in that area. I got the auger started and made it as far as the corner of the shack. We've got another tip up. So what it's telling us is we do have some fish. They're roaming around. Middle of the day, they're not quite as active, but they're active enough to hit these chubs, give us some bites, and confirm that we're in the right spot. I would certainly think come sundown we should be in really good shape here. But we're darn sure going to take some of these bonus fish as the afternoon plays out. This one's here. The camera can catch it. He was spinning the reel. There he goes. See, he's running some line there. And I'm going to let him do that. I'm not in any hurry. The more line he runs, the better our odds of actually catching him. This is probably the second run. He didn't have that much time, because like I said, we got bit right after the other one here. This is going to give him a chance to take and swallow that bait. We had the initial run, obviously, to set the tip up off. Stopped, ran where we saw it, ran a little bit. I don't think he probably has that bait. You did see I did do something here. I pulled some line, so I'm not putting any pressure on that fish till I'm ready. Very similar to Lindy rigging. We're letting him have full reign of that bait. I'm just going to feel back up. As I feel his weight, take him ever so slightly, feel it. It's just not heavy. I'm not sure the fish hasn't turned and came towards me just a little bit. I got him. Not as big as a previous fish, but it's a fish nonetheless. It's coming at me to beat heavy here. Oh. Just a nice little walleye. Which is good. We picked up a nice fish earlier, most likely a female, looking at the body type. But here's a case in point too. You know, this fish is probably, 13 inches long, probably fishing a 5 or 6 inch chub. He has no problem taking that bait. Do not let these baits intimidate you, because they darn sure don't intimidate these fish. And that's gone. I mean, he has swallowed it. It's absolutely gone. We'll get him unhooked, send him back down. Just got done catching that small fish. Walked over here to grab the auger, punch a couple holes to do some jigging outside here. This one pops up, peeked over the edge, spinning to beat heck. So I'll back up, grab the bait bucket again. It's kind of interesting here. Whoa, we got just had a bite back here, walking around with the bars. It's pretty chilly out. We come out, it was below zero, maybe 10 degrees now. Holes are icing up. So bring out a heavier bar, pop the ice out of the holes, telling Tom, you move these baits around just a little bit. A lot of times you'll get hit instantly. A little more than walking over to the next hole, started chipping it, look up, this one's up, and this thing is just absolutely smoking line up. Whoa, I'm clear to my backing already, which is unbelievable how much line this fish has out, and I think he dropped it after all of that. Unreal. Something darn sure aggressive, but case in point, if you're not getting bites, get out, check your baits, move your baits around. Dang it, I wish we'd have got that. Literally ran off all my main line into the backing in the course of minutes, I would imagine. When we walked up, it was just spinning. You got a brief view of how fast it was spinning, so I imagine he was probably pulling that line that hard the entire time. And we were having a conversation about a guy should get up shallower, maybe a little bit shallower than this. It's about 10 foot. We're fishing 10 to 40 foot on a break here and try to see if a guy couldn't find a big pike. I'll guarantee you that's what happened with this thing. We'll get this taken care of back down there, and hopefully we can get the thing on top of these.
Midwest Gun Dog Kennels is your full-time gun dog training facility. For over 30 years, we've customized our training to fit each individual gun dog. We know it takes a well-trained gun dog to handle wild birds to make every hunting trip a dream trip. Let Midwest Gun Dog Kennels put excitement back into your hunt of a lifetime. Midwest Gun Dog Kennels, where experience equals excellence.
Dakota Pheasant Guide offers the best wild pheasant hunts from the glacial lakes area of South Dakota west to the Missouri River. Packages available include everything from self-guided to fully guided hunts. Book your bird hunting adventure now. Fishermen, iTime Promotions is your ticket to an enjoyable and successful day on the water. Call Dennis Foster for your outdoor adventure of a lifetime.
Dennis Foster here. I'd like to introduce you to the Dorado catch and release boat latch system. It's back the trailer into the water, pop the cord, and away we go. Once our day in the water is done, we simply roll the boat up onto the bunks until it achieves contact with the bow eye. It clicks securely into place. Away we go. We're exclusive partners with b2outdoors.com. That's where you're going to want to go and order your very own system. You can enter the promo code iTime Promotions and receive free shipping on your items.
When it comes to dog food and treats, you want something natural. A dog food or special reward that feeds great, is made in the USA, and helps your best friend live a long and healthy life. That's what you get with Country Vet Naturals. Natural goodness in every bag. And for those of you who want grain-free, we've got that too. Find a dealer and learn more about Country Vet Naturals dog food, cat food, and treats at countryvetnaturals.com. Country Vet Naturals, loved by pets, trusted by owners.
What I'm doing here is we've come up fairly shallow. You can see the shoreline's right here, but it's deeper than you think. Water depth, probably 10 foot. There's a heck of a lip where it comes up against that shoreline. What allows these fish to do, the game fish, is to push his bait up against the shoreline, and there's several edges that act as barriers that help the fish. One, the shoreline. There's a barrier there. There's a barrier on the ice as well, and obviously the bottom, so they can push them into a confined area, ups their feeding odds. We've had a fair amount of bites, moderately shallow, during the day here. on tip-ups. Finally got a chance where they've slowed down long enough to get up and start jigging using real aggressive baits, and these will work anywhere, but they're particularly effective on Lake Oahe as these fish are very aggressive. What I've got is a larger size clacking grab, and you can just watch his rod tip and see how that vibrates. Being very aggressive, trying to call these fish in. All right, we're taking a break here in between bites on tip-ups, getting ready for the evening run here, getting ourselves organized. Got a minute to ourselves. Want to finish explaining the concept of this background mapping we referred to when we first showed up on scene, so to speak, and finding our spots here. Obviously, we're fishing out of Mobridge, South Dakota, shows the highway coming in there, and we just start zooming down here on Lake Oahe. We come down, we look at the ramp where we put in, just across the river. We cross the main channel of the river, coming back into this bay, and you can see as we keep zooming in, the detail. Obviously the red arrow indicates where we're at, and what we're looking for here, and this is where the main channel of the river, Missouri River, sweeps along here. This is an excellent spot as travelways. I thought I'd come back in here for a little more multi-species action, a little bit further back into the bay. And then we get back in here. The bay doesn't have a lot of real major structure, but you can see there's an inside curve in here. This nice inside bend will hold some fish, and just a little nub of a point. And where we're at is set up right kind of on the deep tip of that point. We're running our tip-ups in, up onto the point itself, and then out here into the basin. Where we're at here on the red arrow is sitting in the shack itself. Keep pulling it down, and you can see the detail on those contour lines. And there's a pretty fast break there as we come back out, and these things are getting more detailed every day. Just a little tip, and it's literally as easy as carrying your phone. You're not taking extra gear, nothing else to monkey around or hassle with. You just simply go get the Navionics app, download it to your phone. There you are, as good as we've ever had, and better than we've ever had as far as carrying around a GPS. We've got it all right here. It's that simple, folks.
That's our show for this week. As you can tell, we had a really good time. Remember, do these 3 things for me. 1, take a child with you on the next hunting or fishing trip. 2, generously support your favorite conservation organizations. And 3, spend some time in the next week where you focus on the outdoors. For our staff, I'm Steve Hammer. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time when we continue the journey, making more memories.
Like pulling catfish on the banks of Cherry Cove, watching wood ducks glide like angels to the shore. I'm gonna find me a dirt road and get right in the groove. Let these chains of life unwind till I get loose. I wanna roll down a window and reach out and touch the reeds, and let that crazy world out there go on without me. It's like that river only knows one way to flow. Ain't nothing gonna change me, 'cause I've got a dirt road so